I'll look at a simple one, which I will show how the principles of doing it. Then you can do any complicated one. Me, I can do any complicated one. How? I use the principles. It doesn't have to be something I've seen, because most of the time, someone will say, you brought us, the one that you brought was like this, but the one in the book was like this. Why do you want to meet the one in the book? Why do you want the one in the book? When you go to industry, are you ever going to meet it? No. You are going to meet the one at your company, and you must solve it. So what do you need? You need principles. Right? We need principles. Now, if you open your book, it's on the page where there's those block diagrams. Someone, please, you can tell us the page if you're there. You never opened. Okay, once you are opening, open please someone. Let me just explain the key things about dealing with block diagrams. Someone says, you're bringing things that are so difficult. Well, what is actually saying is, I didn't see it in the book. You will actually make it simpler, and then you bring it. Then someone, because they didn't see that one in the book, what do they say? The ones that are bringing are more difficult. Students sometimes. Right. What can I add to make it interesting? I think it's fine. Eh? Okay, let's keep the edges. Let's put what? H1 here. H1. H2. Right. One way of solving block diagrams is to compensate whenever you do something. You find that is someone opening the page? If we have opened the page, you yeah? Chapter 5. Chapter 3, what page? Which one do you have? 12th edition. What page? 193. So I want the page where is the table where the block diagrams are shown. They say if you do this, then you have to draw it this way. If you want to remove it, you want to move a pickup point, you want to do that. Who is there? Then someone tries to cram and
I think page 103.
103. Someone tries to cram and then they realize they can't cram in everything. They scratch their head, it doesn't work. And they say, oh, it's difficult, automatic control is difficult, yet it's so simple. Okay, we're on page what? 103. Right. The first thing that you need to understand, like when you're doing a block diagram reduction, is the issue of compensation. If I want to simplify this diagram, I might say that what if I take this point from here and I put it there? Right? Now, before I go into that, there is no one way of doing it. It's you thinking, visualizing, and putting down what you are seeing, the way it's making sense to you. So I can't say, like, you can't cram the way I've done this diagram, because even if you call me next time for the same diagram, me, I don't cram nothing. I'll just do it the way I'm feeling there and there. It works. Is that okay? So all I need is the principle. What must I do? How do I approach it? That's what I must keep. But I don't claim to say, oh, this must be step 1 always, this must be step 2 always. No. Anything which is consistent according to the principles can start. I can start with that as my step 1. Unless it flouts something else, then I have to deal with that. Are we together? So in this case, I'm realizing that I've got 2 feedback loops, this one and this one. I might decide to take this one there. Then maybe take this one there. Now I have 2 which are starting at the same point and ending at the same point, which means I can add them. I can choose to do that. You understand? I might choose to take this one there, take this one there. Now I have 2 which are starting at the same point, ending at the same point. I can add them. You understand that? Suppose that's what I want to do. Suppose I want to... Can you see that while someone is doing that, correct, another one is doing this, both correct. But are they using exactly the same step? No. So you look at it and you say, okay, how can I quickly get a simple version of what I'm looking at? Then the way it's making sense to you, that's what you are going to do. Do you understand? Right. So what can I do? I want to take this there. Now, whenever you do something, you must compensate by looking at the effect of what you have done. If I check this point and I bring it there, now that means my signal is now picking a G1. But the actual signal must not pick a G1 because it's starting after G1. How do I compensate for a signal which now has G1, whereas it must not have G1? I must divide by it. You understand? Mm-hmm. In this position, this signal does not pick G1. If I bring it to this position, now it's picking up G1. How do I compensate for that? I divide by G1. So that the G1 which I picked is removed by the division. Can you see that? So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going now to shift this to this point. It's being subtracted. It's coming as a negative. So I put it there, still with a negative. But I've picked up something, so I must compensate for picking up something which should not be there. So I now divide by G1. Do you understand? Now, I want now to bring this point there. What am I doing? This thing here is picking a signal without G2. If I pick it from here, I'm now picking a signal with G2.
With G2 or G3?
Yeah, G3. Can you see that? This is my pickup point.
Without the G3.
So it's picking a signal, the signal at this point. If I move it there, now I'm picking now my signal, the one which I'm picking up, now includes G3. So what must I do? I must divide by G3. Can we see that?